All right, let's talk about a story that has it all: heartbreak, unbelievable redemption, and ultimately a massive triumph. We're diving into the incredible journey of how the Grassfield Grizzlies boys volleyball team clawed their way to the top and literally made school history. Let's get right into it. Look, this was not just another win. We're talking about a truly monumental achievement. The local news said it all. This was the first state crown in school history. I mean, the stakes just don't get any higher than that. And they didn't just squeak by either. They absolutely dominated. The final score here tells you everything you need to know: a clean 3-0 sweep against the Cosby Titans in the state championship. That is a powerful, undeniable statement on the biggest stage possible. But that dominant final score, it actually hides a much more dramatic story. You see, to really understand why this victory was so sweet, we have to look at the road they took to get there. And let me tell you, it was anything but easy. First off, this championship run wasn't some kind of fluke. The Grizzlies were a total force all year long, racking up an incredible 21-7 record. They proved over and over again that they absolutely belonged among the state's very best. But you know how it is. Every great team has that one rival that just pushes them to their absolute limits. And for Grassfield, that rival was the Cosby Titans. They were the one team that stood squarely in their way, a huge hurdle in their championship dream. And right here, this is the heart of the entire story. Just a couple of weeks before the state final, they played Cosby in the region final, and they suffered a crushing 1-3 loss. Heartbreaking. But instead of letting that defeat crush their spirits, they used it as fuel. Think about that turnaround. To go from being beaten to being completely unbeatable, and then to come back and not just beat your rival, but to sweep them 3-0 for the state title, that is the absolute definition of redemption. Now, a redemption story like that, it doesn't just happen by accident, right? It's built on the backs of some incredible individual performances. So let's take a closer look at the key players who really powered this historic run. Every championship team has that one player who just elevates everyone else around them, the one who consistently delivers when it matters most. For the Grizzlies, that guy was, unsurprisingly, named the team's player of the year. And that player is senior Andrew Burke, a name that I'm sure opponents came to fear and the Grizzlies fans absolutely loved to cheer for. This number pretty much says it all. 4.4. What is that? That's Burke's kills per set average. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, a kill is an attack that scores a point directly. To average almost 4.5 of those every single set, that is just relentless, overwhelming offensive pressure. He was the team's #1 weapon, plain and simple. But here's the thing about volleyball: it is the ultimate team sport. So yeah, Burke was the finisher, but he couldn't do it by himself. This championship was won because the Grizzlies had leaders stepping up all over the court, dominating every single part of the game. Okay, so check this out. This right here is the backbone of the team. We've talked about Burke's firepower, but then you've got Caden Augustin, who was the maestro, the one orchestrating the entire offense, with a massive 866 total assists. That's the pass right before the kill. And on the flip side, you have Owen Griffiths, who was a defensive wall, averaging an incredible 4.0 digs per set. That's stopping the other team's best shot. So you've got your offense, your setup, and your defense, all covered by elite players. So when all the celebrations are over, what does a victory like this really mean? It's way more than just a trophy in a case. It's about the journey, the people involved, and the legacy that it leaves behind. For head coach Paul Eimler and his 3 seniors, including the Player of the Year Andrew Burke, this wasn't just the work of one season. No, this was the absolute peak of a mountain they all started climbing together 4 years ago, back when they were just freshmen. And you know what? The coach's own words just capture it perfectly. He said he watched these players grow from, quote, little short kids into champions. This isn't just about a win. It's about dedication, it's about growth, and that powerful bond between a coach and his players. It's just a really special moment. So, they reached the summit, they claimed their school's first ever state crown, they got revenge for their toughest loss, and proved they were the absolute best in Virginia. Which, of course, leaves us with one last question to chew on. Is this just a one-time magical run? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a brand new Grassfield volleyball dynasty?